So over the last decade or so, prices of mountain bikes has gone up pretty dramatically, making it hard to find a really nice full suspension mountain bike that has modern geometry, a really good build, and a fairly affordable price. But back in 2019, Vitus introduced an affordable full suspension mountain bike with modern geometry, good builds, and a really affordable price, and it was called the Mythique. And even though the Mythique has only been around for about 4 years or so, Vitus has just unveiled the new updated Mythique. So in this video, we're going to look at the specs, geometry, builds, and pricing of this bike. And just on a quick side note, I did have the opportunity to review the previous generation Mythique, so if you would like to check that out, I put the link in the description. So now, let's check out the new Vitus Mythique. So the new Mythique will be available with either 27.5 or 29-inch wheels. And I would describe the new Mythique as more of an evolution, more than a flat-out new design. The frame is made of 6061 T6 aluminum, and the suspension will be 130 in the front and rear for the cheapest model, and the travel will increase to 140 millimeters front and rear for the other 3 models. And the frame has a much cleaner, elegant shape than the previous model, and it looks more expensive than it actually is. The Mythique is getting longer, lower, and slacker, with the first change being the head tube angle, which has been slackened by ½ degree, so now it's 65.5 degrees. And the second big change is that the effective C-tube angle has been steepened pretty substantially to 77.3 degrees on the 27.5-inch models and 77.5 degrees on the 29er models. The suspension is a horse-link design with a trunnion-mounted rear shock with the same mounting hardware as the Escarp and Summit models. The Mythique is also longer and lower, but it also maintains the 435mm chainstays on the 27.5-inch models and 445mm chainstays for the 29er models. The bike is also designed with easy maintenance in mind, with external cable routing and a threaded bottom bracket. But there's 2 updates that I'm most excited about. First is that Vitus has updated the position of the main rocker link pivot, so it's not in the middle of the C-tube, which in the previous model hindered the amount that you can lower the dropper post. Second is that now Mythique uses the SRAM universal derailleur hanger, which means that if you bend or break one, you can go to almost any bike shop and get a replacement. For the new Mythique, there's 4 available builds. All of them are available only aluminum and in both 27.5 and 29-inch wheel sizes. All the builds are available in sizes small through extra large, and at the time of recording, the weights of each model have not been revealed. First is the VR, which is the most affordable build. It comes with an X-Fusion RC32 boost fork with 130mm of travel and a 51mm offset, an X-Fusion O2 Pro R shock with 130mm of travel, and a Shimano Dior drivetrain with a 10-speed 46-tooth cassette. The brakes are Shimano MT401 2-piston brakes with 180mm rotors in the front and rear. The wheels are WTB STI30 rims with Vitus hubs and Maxxis high roller tires. The handlebars and saddle are nuke-proof neutrons, and the VR only comes in the black colorway and retails for $1,700. Next is the second most affordable build, which is the VRS. It comes with a RockShox 35 silver TK fork with 140mm of travel and a 44mm offset, a RockShox Deluxe Select R shock with 140mm of travel, and a Shimano Dior drivetrain with an 11-speed 51-tooth cassette. The brakes are Shimano MT401 2-piston brakes with 180mm rotors in the front and in the rear. The wheels are WTB STI30 rims with Vitus hubs and Maxxis high roller tires. The handlebars and saddle are nuke-proof neutrons. The VRS only comes in the white colorway and retails for $2,000. Next is the VRX, which is the second most expensive build. It comes with a Marzocchi Bomber Z2 fork with 140mm of travel and a 44mm offset, a RockShox Deluxe Select R shock with 140mm of travel, and a Shimano Dior M6100 drivetrain with an 11-speed 51-tooth cassette and SLX derailleur. The brakes are Shimano MT501 4-piston brakes with 180mm rotors in the front and rear. The wheels are WTB STI30 rims with Vitus hubs and Maxxis high roller tires. The handlebars and saddle are nuke-proof neutrons. The VRX comes in this really pretty green colorway and it retails for $2,300. Last is the AMP model, which is new for the Mythique and it's the most expensive model in the lineup. It comes with a RockShox Pike Select RC fork with 140mm of travel and a 42mm offset, a RockShox Deluxe Select R shock with 140mm of travel, and a Shimano SLX drivetrain with an 11-speed 51-tooth cassette and an XT derailleur. The brakes are Shimano SLX 4-piston brakes with 180mm rotors in the front and rear. The wheels are WTB KOM Trail I-30 rims with Vitus hubs and Schwalbe tires, with a Magic Mary in the front and a Hans Dampf in the rear. The handlebars and saddle are nuke-proof Neutrons, and the AMP model only comes in the red colorway and retails for $2,600. Overall, I think they've made this bike better in almost every single way. The builds are better, the shape is nicer, they've addressed people's main complaints on the previous generation, it's longer, lower, slacker, and they're offering the new AMP model. And most importantly, the price has stayed the same. And on top of all that, Vitus has expanded their warehouse to the United States, so you now can get your bike even faster if you live in the States. And I'm really hoping I get my hands on the new Mythique so I can test it out and review it. But until then, I'm just going to appreciate that there's companies like Vitus that still make great mountain bikes with prices that an everyday person can afford. But let me know how you feel about the new Mythique. Do you plan on picking one up? Or are you considering something else? Please leave your comment below. Thank you so much, and have a great one.